Hey everyone, Desert Amplitude, and welcome to my first video on a TCG card series right now that I've been making for like the past 4 years called Chandler's Mark Collection. Well, and I'll be showing you some of the old cards along with some new ones that I've been working on. So for right now, for this short video, I just want to be able to go through 5 of them for now. God. Let's get this out. So these are basically my old trading card games. I don't know if I can be able to specifically call them trading cards or something, but I felt like I should be able to share like a few of them for now. For now, like I said before, it's gonna be very short, fairly simple, but I'm gonna just go through some of them for now. So first off with the card series for now is this old one that I made all the way back when I was 12 or 11 or so. It's called Ancient Fidget Spinner. So far in the, I guess like in the prototype for this game, it used to be called Card Memes, but I eventually had to change it over to Chandler's Mark just to be able to make it like more okay-ish. And back then I thought this looked pretty good for the most part. Well, although I eventually did redo it for the remake. Then we have the first upgraded one. I did change it a little bit. The reason why there's like this faded guy is because I was trying to erase it. I tried to erase it, but you know, I didn't want to because I saw it looked bad because I thought having this would look good. Either way, you know, still the same thing, except it's the Power 3. It's just an excuse from like the Power 9 from Magic the Gathering. Even then, you know, still pretty decent card. I thought that this would be like my final style for it for now. So when I decided to do the remake for it, I went back to the original design for it back then, but I decided to just update it a little bit with like the design itself. I kind of like the little squiggly lines for it. It's similar to this, but much more complex as well. So yeah, this is featured in the Season 1 Revision Edition, which is basically just a lazy excuse of saying, yes, this is a remake as well. Even then, looks great and all, but this is not the most recent one so far, because the most recent one is the one is basically Season 1 Classic Edition, which is basically a remake, which is essentially a repolished version of this one. Well, all I did was just update some of the text and lettering so it would look much more smaller, and the artwork also changed as well. It's basically the Ancient Sewing Saw. The reason why I had to change it because I wanted to be able to make it much more original instead of this, because it's just a fidget spinner. What are you going to be able to do about it? Wait. So yeah, that's basically like the timeline for this one. I honestly feel like it's a good one. It's a good one to start off with. It's essentially like a remake of this for now. This is my most favorite one so far. This one is just kind of just the original. But either way, I like all 4 of them as well. But even then, as I move progressively through the video, I would eventually show Season 1 official versions of cards. So the next one right now is another one of these prototype cards called just simply Axe. Excuse me. This is just simply called Axe from the prototype Season 1 of Card Memes as well. Really simplistic. Again, I did some mistakes here, but overall, I thought it was decent enough already. I used to think that it was actually pretty good, though. Not gonna be able to lie, but yeah, that was basically it. I mean, there's nothing much to be able to talk about some of like these old cards because it's kind of weird to look back to. It's kind of hilarious at the same time, but also nostalgically terrible. So we got the official version of it for, again, the Powers 3 of them, released for the official version of Season 1 of Chandler's Mark. I did step up a little bit with the artwork. Instead, it looks a little bit more metallic, besides from the blank plain version of the original, though. Even then, there are some minor mistakes for that, but I'm not gonna be going for mistakes. No, it's already done for what it's worth anyway. So yeah, I did some few improvements, like I added some scratch marks over here, over there as well. For people who want to know, the special right here says, in the game Skyrim, there is an axe that you can claim after escaping the start of the game. Yeah, I just basically played Skyrim, so yep, that's basically what the card is. Then we got the remake for it, eventually, for Season 1 Revision Edition as well. Essentially just the same thing as like this with the metallic version as well, except it's much more three-dimensional. Although, you know, I kind of felt like I made the angle, kind of made like all the outlines for the axe a little bit too thick with them as well. Even this kind of looks out of place, the diamond in shape, but even then it still looked good. It still looked good enough as well. I just didn't really think too much crazy over it. I even, you know, and just like many other on my TCG cards, it also got a classic edition version of it, where again I went back to the original design as well. I really don't like this one. Yes, it kind of looks better as well. Like, for example, these lines are a little bit more faded than this one, where it's just kind of just scribbled onto it, where I just use like the side of the pencil. But I really don't like how it's all like wobbly and such. It looks like jello in some instances as well. So in terms of what cards I do like, well, I do like this one, partially this one, maybe this one, and 11 out of 10 for this one. So yeah, that's basically just like the axe card as a whole. So we're just going to continue on for this one. Next one on our list might seem a little bit cringy, but don't get me wrong, I was little when I made this, and also I'm autistic anyway. So the next one we have is the Imposter. I know, shitty Among Us joke, but anyway, yeah, this is part of, like, again, this is part of the Chandler's Mark prototype of it as well. Yeah, not really much to be able to say, just like with the other ones as well. But I'm gonna just give you guys a glimpse looks for it. You know, Crewmate or Imposter, they could be able to switch between them both. And then we got the official version, again, Imposter. Very much different. I kind of went very much crazy with like the layouts and such, because I felt like for this game specifically, I should be focusing a lot on the layouts for the cards instead of just making them like blank and such, which we would basically search on with like cards that I would talk about much more later as well. Yet again, not much to say about this one as well, except it's not part of the Powers 3 ones, even though it is part of the original cards as well. I even had it laminated by my school as well. They gave me permission to be able to do this. The reason why I did is just to be able to preserve the cards, but also not make them too damaged enough. So there's that. Eventually, I made a remake of the card. Well, same loading bay with the clouds and skies as well, except I had him looking onto the distance as well, like he's like in the moment right now. And I believe this is like the first time that I did add shadows to it as well. The shadows overall was like I felt like this was like good artistic styles, and I still feel like it is. Although I did add some shading to it as well. Really nice, really good. Good and all. Again, it's part of the Season 1 Revision Edition. Originally it was called 1 Year Edition, but this, I mean, the original Season 1 for these ones came out in like 2020 when I was about 14. This one I made when I was 15 or 16. And just like many other ones, I went back to the original again for season 1 classics as well. But I eventually changed this name to Liberator. And the reason why for this is because, again, it's just kind of more like a blatant parody of this one. Everybody knows what Among Us is. So if I basically just change it a little bit, it would basically be more unique. That's what I want to be able to make my card series from now on. Unique. You know, none of this parody stuff that I've been doing. So yeah, that was basically it. Also, you can see that how the art style is a little bit more crappier than this one. I was trying to go for a much more like a direct comparison. No, not a comparison. More like a similar art style to the original, but yet again, I really don't want to be able to do that because then, you know, then the cards wouldn't be able to look good. And they kind of feel out of place with like the new design as well compared to the old one that we have here. Also, I choose like very thin piece of paper. I don't really use premium paper because I felt like this paper is good enough and I still use it. I don't even bother. And that leads us to the last one on our list. The Cherish Kid card, which, just like many of the other ones, made during like the card memes prototype as well. Really simple card as well. I think this was like I believe I got the idea from a card from, if you guys play South Park Phone Destroyer, then there is a card with Butters in it where he's like, you guys should probably know. So I was like, that seems cool. I should be able to do the same thing with this one, but just do it like in my own way. I do feel like it's good as well, but not really much too special to be able to talk about. It is a parody eventually, but I kind of consider it its own thing. I'm kind of in the middle with this one as well. And of course, we got the official one. Again, it's the power. It's Power 3. Eventually, well, I did amp up a little bit with the backgrounds. Like I said, I focus a lot of backgrounds with this one. Eventually, it's gonna get a little bit more complex as well. So yeah, I basically made him happy as well. Also, the special right here. The special is basically just made for like sarcasm and such. You know, much more later. This one is more like genuine jokes that I basically be able to try, and they come off a little bit too corny or too cringy. Yet again, you know, this is like 14 or 15-year-old me basically just trying to be like, I guess like the jokester in my school, but who knows. And then we got, of course, the remake for it as well, part of Season 1's Revision Edition. Well, this time he's basically searching for change and as well has now a patch and a cape. And, you know, again, I eventually had to be able to change the joke. I didn't really alter his name because, yet again, I felt like it was original or not as well. I did really like this one as well. A part of like the original cards for like the prototype ones, I felt like those were the ones that I really wanted to be able to improve. I also was this as well. I was taught by them by either my art teacher when I was basically just taking classes with her, or I just basically learned by myself as well, by just looking up YouTube videos and such. Well, yet again, very similar design-wise as well. It's just that these ones are no longer shooting out like fireworks or something. Now they're much more. Now the sunrise is much more circular this time as well. Still, really good card. And then last but not least, the damn it, it's upside down. I forgot that I made this one the upside down one as well. I kind of did it much more improperly because for this one, you kind of have to flip it like this, flip it like that, and such. Yep, again, part of Season 1 Classics. Again, this is the updated version where I went back. You see what I'm talking about? About making these cards look much more like remasters than actual, like, proper versions as well. Except there's like 6 lines for this one instead of 5 as well. Also, the shading right here, I didn't want to be able to do it like an alternate black because, I don't know, it just felt kind of unnatural for that one. So I just did it like this instead of like that. As well, again, the joke as well. Completely sarcasm as well to be able to do that. And for people who want to know what's up here, it says cross. You might not see it right now, but you know, it's up there. And that basically concludes my video so much. Now in terms of what I'm basically trying to do here as well, I'm trying to be able to make like an entire series for this one, which is why I'm making this video to begin with, as well, to be able to show off these as well. Yet again, very short video, but thank you all for watching, and just like many other stuff, take care. Yeah, bye.